Hey everyone, it's Christine, and today I'll be talking about the movie Now You See Me. This movie is directed by Louis Cheria. It stars Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, Mark Ruffalo, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Einsberg, Dave Franco, and Elsa Fisher. However, before I dive into the video, I have to say that this review actually contains some spoilers, so do see for yourself if you want to keep watching it. So without further ado, let's dive into the review. First of all, this movie is about the Four Horsemen, which is the four actors that I just mentioned, and they are the Four Horsemen. They are committing crime and they are robbing banks, and Mark Ruffalo, who plays Dylan in this movie, will be the one to hunt them down and also finding the fifth horseman at the same time. Apparently he can't transform into Hulk and just tear the Four Horsemen into pieces and have to hunt them down like a police, so yeah. First things first, let's talk about the plot. This movie is actually less than 2 hours. It's 1 hour and 56 minutes. And first of all, when I looked at the time and I looked at the cast list, and I was like, what? They got Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine in it. This is sort of like a big production. And it's a crime movie. So you need to show us the process of they doing the crime and why they did it. And you need the characters and the bonding and so many things. You actually need to squeeze them into less than 2 hours. At first, I'm not actually believing in that, but then I realized this movie is actually fast-paced and packed and complete, so I think that's very nice. And secondly, this is after a thriller and a crime movie, and that sort of genre is kind of cliche because we see a lot of crime and thriller movies. However, I think this movie actually demonstrated it nicely because we get what we expect. Like, we get card tricks, we get mentalism, and we get people unlocking things. At the same time, we get things that we don't expect, like, something more, like people flying in the air, some very dramatic mentalism, and some parts of it's not entirely scientifically accurate, but it's still fun. Well, now on to the most important part, I think, of the movie, which is the twist. But we all need twists like this in the crime movies. Just look at Ocean 11 and that sort. But I have to say, this movie is actually unpredictable. It provided us with a red herring. We thought that Elma was the fifth horseman or something, or has some relation with it, but then it ended up being Dylan, and seriously, I did not see that coming. I didn't guess that Dylan was the fifth horseman until in the cell scene where Morgan Freeman and him started to spill the beans. Now we're done with the plot, let's go for cast and characters of the movie. Well, what could I say about Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine? It's nice to see them both in the same movie. I mean, it's Lucius and Alfred we're talking about here. So then for the other characters, I think they're fine, like the other actors, they're fine. But then let's talk about the protagonist, Mark Ruffalo's Dylan. Before that we know that he is the fifth horseman, we actually see that silly and stubborn police that blindly chases over the criminal that all crime movie needs basically, and that's fine, I like it. But then after the review, after we know that Dylan is the fifth horseman, at least I expect some character or style change in Dylan's character, but seriously, I didn't see that much. Like, he still seems to look like that silly and stubborn police. Is that on purpose? I don't really know. I guess I expect a little bit more change on the way he talks or the way he looks or something like that, but I didn't get that. The characters, and for the characters in the movie, the bondings and stuff like that, I think it's fine because, as I said, it's actually quite a short movie, so I think it's nice that they managed to put all these four characters together. I mean, they originally have conflict, they hate each other perhaps, but then they just gradually bond with each other and they became friends at the end, which is nice, I'd say. Here's the relationship that I kind of want to complain about, which is the relationship between Elma and Dylan. I know the existence of Elma. The purpose is to give us a red herring so that we think that Elma is behind all that originally, and Elma's existence is also to tell us the story, the moral of the story, and I understand that, but is it actually necessary to create a romance between Elma and Dylan? Because Dylan's character just seems to be, well, at least what we thought, just seems to be a man that doesn't believe in magic and want to get his job done. But then why would he suddenly fall in love with Elma, and why would Elma suddenly fall in love with Dylan? I mean, the movie wants to shape them as those kind of typical couple in rom-coms where they originally hate each other and then they fall in love with each other. But is that necessary? Haymitch says he sensed a palpable chemistry between the two of them. I don't really sense that, to be honest. It's almost like Elma is just another pretty girl standing next to this middle-aged policeman just for the sake of standing there. I think that's not really necessary, to be honest. All in all, I'll say that this movie is actually quite nice. I mean, it's fun to watch. So I think it's available on Netflix and YouTube. So yeah, just watch it when you have time. So that will be the end of my review. I hope you enjoy watching it. Do tell me in the comment section on what you think about the movie. And I'll see you next time. Bye!